Hi children, good afternoon. Welcome back to the class. In the old class, I think you have understood the first lesson. Now we are going to the second lesson, plants living and surviving. How plants live and how will they survive? How do the plants live and how do they survive? What plants take in, children, and what do they leave out? They take in carbon dioxide and they leave out oxygen, which is useful for us. What humans take in? Humans take in oxygen. And what we leave out? We leave out carbon dioxide. And plants take in carbon dioxide and they leave out oxygen. Okay, see children, you see lotus plant. You know no lotus? You know lotus plants, no? Where do we see lotus plants? We see lotus plants in a pond. See all lotus plants. If you see a pond full of colorful lotus plants, pink in color, white in color. See, very beautiful the pond will be. So where will be the lotus ponds? The lotus flowers. Lotus flowers will be in a pond, not on a hill or in a pond. It will be in a pond. Where will we find a lotus plants? We find lotus plants in a pond. Okay. Where do you see a mango trees, children? Where do you see mango trees? Everyone love mangoes. It is very delicious fruit, no? Very, very sweet fruit. In which season the mango fruits comes? It comes in summer. So, where do you find mango trees? In a pond? No. In a hill? In the plains, where do you find? Where do you find? In the plains we find the mango trees. Okay. Where do you find coconut trees? Near seaside, on the hill, in a river. Where do you find? Near seaside. Okay children? Where do you find coconut trees? Near seaside, on a hill or in a river. Where do you find? In a river? No. We find on a hill. Rice plants give us food, fiber and firewood. What rice plants? Rice. You need rice, no? Every day, what your moms prepare? Your mom prepare food. No, that is rice. So what rice gives? Rice gives food. Okay children? Rice gives food. Plants grow on mountains, slopes, on ocean beds, in deserts and in river valleys. In fact, they grow almost everywhere. Wherever we see plants everywhere. Is it not? Everywhere we see plants. Everywhere plants will grow. Plants differ from each other. Yes. Some plants grow on hills. Some plants grow on deserts. In deserts. Some plants grow on slopes. Some plants grow on plains. Okay, like that. They grow. Many plants differ from place to place. They differ from place to place. They differ according to their surroundings. The plants grow according to their surroundings. So let us read some of them. Terrestrial plants. What are terrestrial plants? What are terrestrial plants, children? Terrestrial plants are plants which grow on land. The plants which grow on land. Okay children, the plants which grows on land are called terrestrial plants. The word terrestrial means living on land. Plants that grow on land are called terrestrial plants. So, many plants will grow on hills, slopes. So, the plants which grows on land are called terrestrial plants. In hilly areas where it is generally cold, trees are tall and straight. So, some plants will grow on hilly areas. In those areas, the plants are very tall and are straight. These trees have needle needle-like leaves. So they are having needle-like leaves. Instead of flowers, these trees bear cones. How they will be? What they will bear? They bear cones. The pine, fir, cedar, deodar are some such trees. Spruce trees are found in very cold areas. So spruce trees, these trees, fir, deodar, spruce trees are found in very cold areas. In the plains, so now we have seen some trees like hilly areas. Now we are seeing in the plains. Trees have lots of branches. So in plain areas, we can see the trees having lots of branches. These trees can bear the heat. So the trees which are having lot of branches can bear heat. So it can bear heat, but shed their leaves during. So they shed their leaves during the winter. So which can bear heat, having lot of branches, will shed their leaves during the winter, like mango, shisham, peepal, banyan and sal are some of the trees which grow on plain areas. These are the trees which grow on plain areas. In hot and damp areas, trees have lots of leaves. Trees have lots of leaves, but they do not shed their leaves in winter. So they don't have, but they do not shed their leaves in winter. In hot and damp areas, trees have lots of leaves, but they do not shed their leaves in winter. Like mango, shisham will shed their leaves in winter, but these leaves will not shed their leaves in winter. They remain evergreen. So throughout the year, they will not shed out their leaves. They will remain evergreen. Some plants that grow in such places are teak, coconut, pepper, rubber, tea, coffee, sugarcane, rice and coconut. All these grow in hot and damp areas. Okay. Now coming to desert areas. Some plants grow in desert areas. They grow without leaves. So in desert areas, they don't have leaves. Cactus is one of such plant. See children, see here, cactus. Cactus, is it having any leaves? No, only thorns. See, cactus will be having only thorns. Will be having only thorns. It doesn't have any. It will be not having any leaves. In this way, it will be growing. Okay. It doesn't have any leaves. Cactus will not be having any leaves. In such way, in this way, in desert area, the plants will be growing. Okay, they don't have any leaves. Instead of leaves, the thorns will be growing. So spines prevent the loss of water. How do these plants make food in the absence of leaves? So only through leaves only they can prepare the food. How do they prepare the food in the absence of leaves? The green fleshy stem of such plants contain chlorophyll and makes food. So in this way, they contain chlorophyll and they make food, and it also stores water, and this also stores water. So in desert areas like this, they prepare their food. In marshy areas, the soil is sticky and clayey. In marshy areas, the soil is sticky and clayey. The plants that grow here are called mangroves. What they call it as? Mangroves. We call it as mangroves. It is very sticky and clayey. The soil is very sticky and clayey. Their roots do not get air as the soil is covered with water. So the roots grow out of the soil. How do the roots grow? The roots grow out from the soil and water to breathe. Such roots are called breathing roots. What they call it as? Breathing roots. So, come back to the lesson, children. Many plants grow on land, hilly areas, plains, deserts, marshy areas, and these marshy areas, such roots, so the roots grow out of the soil and they have water to breathe. Such roots are called breathing roots. Okay children, hope you have understood. And next one is aquatic plants. What is it? Aquatic plants. Next one is aquatic plants. Aquatic plants means what? We have seen aquatic animals, the animals that grow in water. Aquatic plants, plants that grow in water. We have seen first starting lotus plant. Where it grows in water. Plants that grow in water are called aquatic plants. Plants that grow on land are called terrestrial plants, which grows on water. Grows on water are called aquatic plants. Among them, some float on water while others grow completely underwater. So, some plants float on water. Some plants completely grow underwater. Okay? These are called aquatic plants. Aquatic plants are of three types. There are floating plants, fixed plants, and underwater plants. What are aquatic plants? There are three types. There are floating plants, fixed plants, and underwater plants. Coming to floating plants. What are floating plants? These plants float because they are either light or small in size. What are floating plants? The plants float on water. Why? Because they will be very light in size. Because of that, they float in water. See the figures 2.4. They are duckweed and water hyacinth. Okay? See the diagrams here. So these are the water floating plants. Why? Because they are light in weight. Okay? They are light in weight. So they will float on water. Duckweed, water, lettuce and water hyacinth are some such plants. These plants protect small water animals from the heat of the sun. So what do? They protect small water animals from the heat of the sun. So that is the main advantage of these floating plants. Coming to the fixed plants. So what are fixed plants? Lotus. Lotus is a fixed plant. Some plants are fixed to the bed of the pond. I told you, no? This lotus is fixed to the bed of the pond. You must have seen plants like the lotus and the water lily. The stem of the lotus is hollow and light, which keeps the leaves and the flowers float. So the leaves will be floating and the flowers will be floating. So which keeps the leaves and the flowers float. The leaves will be very expanded and the flowers will be floating. This is also used to make tasty dishes. So this is also used to make tasty dishes. The leaves are broad and have stomata only on the upper side. The leaves are very broad. The leaves of the lotus are very broad and the stomata is present only upper side of the lotus leaf. Okay. These broad floating leaves provide a nesting place for some tiny birds. So some tiny birds will be standing on these leaves. That it provides as a nest to the some tiny birds. So the lotus is a fixed aquatic plant. Okay children. Next, underwater plants. So what are underwater plants? Hydrilla. Hydrilla is the underwater plant. Plants like hydrilla, tape grass and pondweed remain underwater. These plants have long ribbon-like narrow leaves. See here, long ribbon-like narrow leaves. Like this, like they are having long ribbon narrow leaves. So they will grow underwater. They will be growing like underwater. Okay, children? They will grow underwater. These plants have long ribbon-like narrow leaves. These leaves arise in clusters from the roots and have no stomata at all. The stomata will be on the upper side of the lotus leaf, but these will not at all have. Hydrilla or tape grass will not at all have any stomato because they are like ribbon-like leaves. They don't have at all any stomato. They breathe throughout their body surface. So this is their body surface. They breathe through this body surface. They breathe through this body surface. These plants clean the water by removing the carbon dioxide breathed out by aquatic animals like fish and turtles. This is why we put such plants in aquariums. So these why, because this is very useful for the aquatic animals like fish and turtles, because this is why we put such plants which is useful for fishes, for aquatic animals. We put these plants in the aquariums also. These are the underwater plants. Examples for underwater plants are hydrilla and tape grass. Okay children, hope you have understood this session. So go through this lesson fully. Once read the lesson. If you are having any doubts, just call back. Okay children, I will be back in the next session. Bye all of you.